This past Earth Day, the Stormwater Department offered a rain barrel workshop hosted by the wastewater treatment plant. All participants received a free rain barrel and a guided tour of the facility. About 20 people signed up and were there for the tour. Steve Huffman, pre-treatment coordinator, began by showing a PowerPoint presentation of the east and west fork of Stones River and why the river forks are crucial to the water plant and wastewater facility.
Well, let's get started. Again, the theme of this workshop today is water. Stormwater, our effluent water, and our drinking water all come from one supply. We are a grade 4 plant, which is the highest grade you can have in the state of Tennessee. All cities will have a wastewater treatment plant, but they're all going to be different. This is one that we felt was best for our city and our town at the time we was doing the construction. But all plants will have in common is some sort of biological treatment. Again, our population right now is 120,000, and then 42,000 are our wastewater customers. And then here is wastewater. This is where we're putting, this is our wastewater plant, and you can see the small little body of water that we're putting our effluent back into, and then the East Fork and the West Fork are finally going to merge together, and they're going to form Percy Priest Lake. So again, that's why we want to make sure we're good stewards, because we have downstream users that pull out of that for their own drinking water and recreational purposes.
Anthony Pollock, master plant operator, gave the tour and answered questions. The tour began at the primary treatment facility, also known as Headworks. Removing inorganics. The wastewater first enters a building called Headworks. This is where rotary screens and step screens filter out the inorganics. Inorganics are anything that can't be broken down biologically, such as plastics, rags, baby wipes, etc.
We got all the inorganics out now, so anything that's made its way to the plant that we don't want impeding the biological process, we've pulled out in the Headworks. This is our newest Headworks.
You're ready for that. That's awesome.
Oxidation ditches. After the Headworks, the wastewater goes to oxidation ditches, where wastewater is introduced to microorganisms also known as bugs. Bugs break down the ammonia and solid material that are in the wastewater. Aerators add oxygen to create the perfect habitat for the bugs, so they can consume the waste efficiently and without the use of chemicals.
This is where all of our microorganisms are, and bacteria that's basically doing all the work for us. We're measuring the oxygen that we're trying to give to the bacteria and the bugs to do the treatment. So all throughout this race car track, basically, there's trillions and trillions of microorganisms and bacteria that we're trying to just create the correct habitat for what we're trying to pull out.
You're ready for that. That's awesome.
Clarifiers. The wastewater travels to the clarifiers for settlement. The velocity is controlled so it is still and less turbulent. This allows the solids and microorganisms to settle to the bottom, where they can be pumped back to the oxidation ditch or sent to sludge holding and dewatered.
The main purpose for a clarifier is liquid-solid separation. At the very bottom, this is a roughly 17-foot deep. There's big rubber drags down there. The floor is concave, sloped into the center, and that's what's helping push all of those solids and microorganisms to the center so they can be in turn pumped back up for further treatment. It takes roughly an hour for it to get around, so it's just constantly pushing everything back towards the center.
The water flows over V-notch weirs that work like a dam, and it travels to the next treatment process. Sand filter.
So our next step after biological treatment, after we've had everything settle out, return back up for treatment, it flows through our tertiary treatment, which is deep bed sand filters, exactly like what you would think. In the bottom, there's different size media that it flows through from top to bottom that catches any solids that have gotten over from the secondary clarifiers.
Occasionally, the system is backwashed to clean the media and send the solid material back to the oxidation ditches. Ultraviolet light disinfection. Water then gets disinfected by traveling through ultraviolet light. 2 channels allow the water to flow past banks of UV lights, which disrupts the DNA code in the bacteria to prevent reproduction.
Good. Then you guys are ready for that.
Aeration.
So after all of our treatment's done, we've settled, we've filtered, we've disinfected with UV. This is our kind of a final stage here before it's been released to the river.
The last phase of the treatment process is post-air. This is where aerators pump air into the water. This guarantees that oxygen-rich water is released into the receiving stream to promote healthy aquatic life.
Good. Then you guys are ready for that.
Receiving stream. The final product is clean water, rich in oxygen, that is released into the West Fork of Stones River.
So this is, at the very end, this is where we're putting back into the Stones River, as Steve Huffman talked about up on the slideshow. I think the low flow for this river is only about 200,000 gallons a day. I mean, they call it a river, but it's almost like a creek. That's why our permit here at Murfreesboro is so strict of what they allow us to put back in. That's why what we send out is high quality effluent. Like I said, we're creating a product here that's beneficial for the city of Murfreesboro. If you kind of look out, you can look to the right through the tree, you can almost kind of see the clarity of the water, and then look to the left, which is, we're blending it, but look to the left, you can basically see right down on a cloudy day, you can see basically straight to the bottom.
After the tour, Robert Haley conducted the rain barrel workshop, where he stressed the importance of preventing stormwater runoff and the benefits of rain barrels. All participants took home a complimentary rain barrel.